I just want to welcome you to the official Malibu Mastermind Global Pre-Launch Conference Call, and you're going to be able to see exactly what we're talking about and why people are going crazy over this amazing company over the last few weeks, and how so many people's lives are even right now starting to be transformed because of the information that's shared through Malibu Mastermind. With that being said, I just want to say that I've personally spent a lot of time over the last week with Mr. Steven Sapini, the founder of Malibu Mastermind, and he shared his heart, his vision of how he wants to take this company to the next level. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce him to the call right now. Are you there, Mr. Steven Sapini?
Yes, I am here, Maurice. Thank you very much. I see here on the conference call counter, we're getting close to the max of 1,000 people on this call. This is unbelievable. Today is something very special, and it's very special for everybody in this call, including you. And it's special because if you look at the mastermind principle, this is something that has literally centuries and centuries of proven results. You go back to the book Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill, who Andrew Carnegie, at the time the world's richest man, said that without the mastermind principle, he would not have become so. He was the Bill Gates of his time. Go back 300 years ago to Benjamin Franklin, one of our founding fathers, who created his own mastermind group, which he called a junto. Out of that, he became America's first self-made millionaire. Now, we think of $1 million as a lot of money today. Imagine what $1 million was 300 years ago. And you could take the mastermind principle, and there's documentation saying about even more centuries to Alexander the Great, one of the great conquerors of his day, and he conducted his own masterminds with what he called his advisors. So there's literally centuries upon centuries of proof and evidence of the mastermind working. But what I found that was missing, what was gravely missing, not just here in the United States, but globally, was a professionally designed mastermind program that was affordable. You see, wealthy people already know what a mastermind is. Ask millionaires and billionaires, and they mastermind all the time. They teach their kids to mastermind. They teach their grandkids to mastermind, and they're used to going to professional mastermind programs that cost, where the investment is $25,000, $50,000, $75,000, and $100,000. And I started looking at this, the more that I was personally being invited to attend masterminds of $25,000 or more, and I said, but wait a second. What about the good folks like me and you that don't want to invest $50,000? And I went out on the internet and I did a conclusive search, and guess what? It did not exist. So I started talking to some very successful people. Now, when I mean successful people that have earned over $50 million. And those folks are here with me on the call today. And when I started reaching out to them, I made a list of people that I know personally that have made over $50 million in their career. And I asked them, how important is the mastermind to you? I want you to hear the answer for yourselves directly from them. So with that, the first very special guest that we're going to bring to you is noted and many people recognize as the world's #1 motivational speaker. He's had his own syndicated TV show, his own radio show. He's been in Congress. But more importantly, he's inspired what's possible for people, for many millions of people around the world, and that's my good friend, Les Brown. Les,
yes.
You go ahead and share it to everybody. When I first came to you, about a year ago, and we started talking about the mastermind, man, if you could just share with folks what that's meant to you in your speaking career. I know you've earned well over $50 million as a professional speaker.
Yes, it has meant a great deal to me because of the fact that I wouldn't be the person that I am now, given my circumstances. And just, in fact, this call was very challenging for me because the man who really taught me the value of the mastermind, he just passed today, Mr. Leroy Washington. And he had a tremendous impact on my life because when I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade and failed again when I was in the 8th grade. And I have no college training, but one of the things that he always said, he said, Mr. Brown, he said, You can run faster with 100 who want to go than with one around your neck. Practice a principle of OQP, only quality people. MIT did a study, and you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. You said, if you look at the people in your life, ask yourself the question, who should I count on and who should I count out? And you said, as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, you want to surround yourself with a team of collaborative, achievement-driven, supported relationships. That's your mastermind. And what it literally does today, it allows your life to be technology-proof and outsourcing-proof. It allows you to reinvent yourself and control your destiny and the sort of heights that you can never go by yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know from listening to you all these years how important Mr. Washington was. So we certainly want to express our condolences for your loss today, because he was originally the man that originally challenged you to be more than you thought you could be.
Yes, because sometimes you have to have somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. You've got to hold on to their vision. The value and the power of the mastermind, that it introduces you to a part of yourself that you don't know right now. It's very important when you're pursuing your goals and dreams to have someone in your life that can see what you can't see. And that's what the mastermind does. It holds you to a higher standard of accountability. It pushes, it stretches you, and you begin to go to a place within yourself that you can never go by yourself because of the impact that the mastermind has on you.
And you were also discussing with me before that sometimes, or many times quite often, those closest to you, your family and friends, are not the person that's going to support you in your new endeavors.
The reason why most people fail is because they don't realize they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives, emotional vampires. People have to do something that Jim Rohn said. He said, look at the relationships in your life and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually and financially? And most people don't realize there's a new term in psychiatry called relational illness. See, what the mastermind does, it helps you to build relationship capital. There are people in your life that are no good for you, that can literally make you sick. That's why this new term is called relational illness. And most people are unaware of it. There are people that as long as they're in your life, they will compromise your talents, your abilities, and your skills to go to the next level, including family members. I'm a twin. I take every other fifth call from my twin brother, and he knows it because I can't afford to have him in my ear. And so when you look at your life, look at your circumstances, trust me, in this era that's called the 3 C's, accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition, as we look toward the future, there's a new book out called Average is Over. The people that are going to make it are people that are part of a mastermind group of resourceful relationships that can help them to get access to possibilities to open doors they did not see, and most of all, to begin to give them a vision of themselves beyond their circumstances and their mental conditioning, and allow them to soar to new heights that they can never do by themselves.
Wow, that is a fantastic lesson. We're gonna let you go, but we're certainly, and I'm personally going to thank you very much. And Les, I want to let you know, in front of about 1,000 people in this call, I guarantee the next time we go to a meal, I'm buying.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, you got a laugh out of me today. All right, thank you.
Okay, Les, and
I appreciate you. Take care. God bless.
I love you, man. So let's continue. So when I made my list of, people who have made over $50 million, if you watch the media at all, and if you ever see it on the media, when this person comes to town, quite often the media will report the millionaire maker is coming to town. And when the media starts anointing you and addressing you as the millionaire maker, you know you're doing something really positive for many, many people around the world. and that is my friend, Mr. Marshall Silver. Marshall, hello.
Hey, Stephen. So nice to be here. I can sense the energy online already, and I'm so excited to be at this historic moment in time when Malibu Mastermind is in its pre-launch, and just hearing everybody's energy and the certainty that a mastermind is indeed one of the core foundations of every single successful person in history. So excited to be here.
Well, thank you very much. And when we met originally a few years ago, and you were kind enough to invite me to your Prosperity Palace, your 17,000 square foot home here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we had a chance with a few of us to mastermind there. And from that mastermind, many great things have happened. And perhaps you could share with the folks listening in, you know, what the mastermind has meant for you. I believe if I have this correctly, you've done somewhere in excess of $200 million in sales and information products and seminars, and certainly learned through that the power of people masterminding.
Absolutely. You know, it's common knowledge that we become the people that we surround ourselves with. And even the most successful people need stimulation, need to see things from a different point of view. I paid $25,000 for 90 minutes with Sir Richard Branson along with 20 other guys. And if someone said, you know, would you pay that money again? Would you invest in yourself again? My response is I'd buy a meal every single week with him just to pick his brain, because in the midst of masterminding with like-minded people, people focused on a specific outcome of success, focused on going for more, what happens is you stop having excuses. You focus on the outcome. You fail forward fast. Everybody pours their expertise in at the same time. And between Les Brown and Kevin Harrington and myself and all of the other people that are going to be contributing to the Malibu Mastermind program, I wish this program had existed when I was 12 years old. The first time I read Think and Grow Rich and understood the concept of mastermind, I realized that it would be a lifetime endeavor for me to constantly form masterminds, and the stronger the mastermind, the more likely my success was. I wanted to add a couple things. First of all, I absolutely tip my hat to one of the greatest teachers and trainers and inspirers of all time, Les Brown. He is an amazing human being, and I'm grateful to be on the call with him and Kevin and yourself, Stephen. The other thing, though, I want to put out there is people vote with their wallets. And I don't just mean other people. I mean, so do we. A friend of mine called me a few years back, and he said, I know you've been wanting to meet Sir Richard Branson. They're having a charity dinner. It's going to be 10 guys was the original proposition. Everybody's going to pay $5,000 a piece to have dinner with him. I said, how about you pay $25,000, I pay $25,000, and we take him to dinner on our own. He said, I'll get back to you. A few days later, he got back. He said, there's bad news and good news. I said, what's the bad news? He said, it's not 10 anymore. It's 20 people that are going to have dinner with Sir Richard Branson. I said, what's the good news? He said, you can still pay $25,000 if you want to. I said, how much everybody else paying? He said, everybody else is paying $5,000. Now, again, I believe that people vote with their wallets, including ourselves. I believe in putting my money where my mouth is, and I also believe that when I invest in something, my commitment to that thing that I've invested in is dependent upon the amount I've invested into it. So I said, I'll invest the $25,000 if you let me have the seat directly to his right. Well, I don't know if you've ever dined at a table with a lot of people. The only people you talk to are the people you're seated right beside. And I felt real bad for those people that kind of had, you know, one foot on the boat and one foot in the water, because they didn't get the chance to talk to Sir Richard Branson, pick his brain, and walk away with literally hundreds of millions of dollars in mind-expanding mastermind that to this day has assisted me in creating huge businesses. As you know, in conjunction with Malibu Mastermind, we're creating some powerful ways to help people communicate with each other. And just one idea I got from Sir Richard Branson will end up being over $1 billion net to us over the next 5 years. I cannot more strongly recommend that the ability to connect with, mastermind with, plan with, and then be held accountable by other people inside of a mastermind is without a doubt the most powerful tool that any entrepreneur, any success-minded person can do, because of that accountability, because of that encouragement, because of those creative ideas flowing constantly. So, Stephen, I tip my hat to you for creating Malibu Mastermind. I know how much hard work you've put into it. I know what a phenomenal value it is. I know that the investment to be a part of the Mastermind is crazy, minor crazy, meaning it's not much at all. And I just want everybody that is listening right now to realize you're sitting in the living room when Apple was born. You're sitting in the garage where Microsoft was created. You're going to look back on this phone call in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, and you're going to say, I cannot believe my entire world, my economy, my life changed by taking the time to get on that conference call, to hang out with some like-minded people, to now join Malibu Mastermind, to promote it to other people, because your whole world has just changed by being here now. Thank you, Stephen, for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you so much, Marshall. And several years ago, when I met Marshall, and he said, Stephen, he says, you've done some amazing things in marketing, and I think you can go to the next level by attending my Turning Point. So I went, I got the ticket, and I went. So I'm a graduate of the Turning Point. And when I was putting Malibu Mastermind together, and we were putting together our bonuses for the folks joining in pre-launch, I decided it was so important for as many people to get to Turning Point as possible that, I called Marshall and I made an investment in tickets for people to attend. Now, those tickets, are going to expire because I can only, invest so much toward any endeavor, at the end of the month. So the folks that are on the call, each are going to get one ticket that has a $3,000 retail value. Now, this particular bonus expires January 31st. On February 1st, it will not be on our website. So please.
And I've got to warn everybody, Stephen, they're likely to expire sooner than later. As you know, there's a limited number as well. And because of the massive number of people that have jumped into Malibu Mastermind prior to this call even, the people that have already gotten registered, if you want an additional bonus of a $3,000 ticket to my Turning Point seminar, a seminar that we've had over 100,000 people worldwide come through, a program that we've been doing for 28 years that has created unlimited numbers of millionaires. If you want to be a part of that and receive that $3,000 additional bonus, you must get registered for Malibu Mastermind now. Your life, your future, your family's future depends on it, because as I mentioned to you, Stephen, when you made those special arrangements to receive those Turning Point tickets, we don't do this. We're never going to do it again. We're never going to offer up that $3,000 seminar as a complimentary bonus gift for people registering for Malibu Mastermind. So get it done now, and I know, Stephen, before the call's over, you'll explain to people exactly how they can get registered.
Absolutely. And again, thank you very, very much, Marshall. Really super appreciate you being here on the call and everything you're doing to work with us strategically. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to find is that, and we're going to get ready to bring in, the big gun, Kevin Harrington, the Shark himself. But just before we do, you may be asking yourself, I've never heard of this Stephen Sapini guy. How is Les Brown coming on the call? How's Marshall Silver coming on the call? How's Kevin Harrington the spokesperson? Because what I've done is I've made it a purpose to be in strategic relationship with key people, so that I show up in their lives and I give and I give and I give and I give so much that these folks want to be in relationship with. And that's part of the relationship I have with Marshall, with Les, and now with Kevin. And, I love, business. And I certainly love business reality shows. I was a big fan of The Apprentice when it came out. And it's just something that, I enjoy. And so when the Shark Tank came out, I was like, this is great. It really kind of shows, what happens when people have to start a business and what they need to do to raise money, how they have to really, articulate and communicate. And that's why, Marshall is so good at helping people communicate. You are what you communicate. You get what you communicate. And I was watching the show, and boy, I was just loving the show. And then, when I saw Kevin on for the first 3 years of the show, just so happens that Kevin and I have two mutual friends. Now, I had never met Kevin, but we have two good mutual friends. They're both close friends of mine, close friends of his, but we had never met. So about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit more, I go to this yearly conference. It's only for speakers and New York Times bestselling authors and top internet marketers It is not a public seminar. You have to qualify and fill out a form and earn so much money and yada, yada, yada. So I go to this yearly event, and at this event, Les Brown goes and Tony Robbins goes, and really significant people go to this event. So I'm at the event, and I see Kevin Harrington in the hallway. Now, if you haven't met me, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". I look like I could be a lineman for the New York Jets, right? Short hair. Well, maybe also, with the good fellows as well. I see Kevin, and I just start yelling, "Yo, Kevin!" And he's like looking at me like, "Who's this big guy coming at me?" And I stick out my hand, and what you say in the first 9 seconds when you meet somebody is the most important 9 seconds of meeting that person. And I stuck my hand out, and he's looking at me like I'm a crazy man. And I said, "Kevin, Steven Sapini, we have 2 really good mutual friends." And I named the friends. One is a very well-known TV celebrity. One is a well-known speaker. And I named it on it, and then I could see, he relaxed. He goes, "Oh, the guy's not here coming after me." It was kind of funny. So anyway, we chatted for a while. We had a nice conversation, and Kevin was there to share with this association. They only picked a handful of people to get to kind of share on a peer-to-peer basis. And we had met, and that was about the end of it. When I came up with Malibu Mastermind and, I made the decision to launch the company, I started thinking, maybe this company would do really better with a noted spokesperson. And, I know so many famous people, so many celebrity business people and speakers, just because I made it my mission, not doing anything special, just I've made it my mission over the past 5 years to do so. So I have, what I call a golden Rolodex. And when I went through my Rolodex, I started thinking, the more I thought, the more Kevin Harrington's mind just kept coming. This was like, if you get a gut feeling about something, it's Kevin. It's like, so I got in touch with Kevin, and I call him, and, I had to kind of remind him, who I was. I said, "Remember, I was that crazy big guy yelling at you in the hallway." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, you." So it kind of paid off. And we started talking, and the thing that Kevin said to me when I started talking about masterminding was, he stopped me. He kind of cut me off halfway through, and he said, "Listen, Steven, over 40 years ago, when I was a teen, somebody gave me a copy of Think and Grow Rich, and he says Chapter 10 is entirely dedicated to the mastermind principle, and he goes, I've been masterminding ever since, and I greatly attribute masterminding to a lot of the success that I've had in $4 billion in TV sales and really being kind of like the father of the modern-day infomercial." He says, "You don't have to sell me on the mastermind." He says, "My concern is how much." He goes, "Because the mastermind I go to now is $25,000 a year, and they've been asking me to market that, but I don't really, feel comfortable. I'm a mass market guy." So I said, "Well, look, I think we can do it and deliver a super high-quality mastermind that we can easily sell for $2,000 or more, but really make it affordable to people and do it for $299. He goes, "I'm excited." He goes, "If you can do that and you can show me that you can deliver, I'm in." So about a month later, with a lot of due diligence that Kevin did on his part, checking out me and my ability to deliver, they have to think about this. There was no website. There was no videos. There was no logos. It was Kevin's belief in 2 things. His belief, first and foremost, in the mastermind principle of getting out to as many good people just like you, and the belief he started to develop that I could execute on the vision. We signed an agreement. Just about a year later, we're here, and we're so fortunate to have Mr. Kevin Harrington, the original shark himself, on this call. Kevin, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, Steven, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here tonight and sharing the stage on the phone here, at least, with 2 legends, Les Brown and Marshall Silver. Also, I did my first infomercial. It was some say the first ever infomercial 30 years ago, and you know what was so amazing? I saw Marshall Silver in an infomercial called Power, Passion, and Profit. Passion, Power, Profit. One of those combinations, and he did. Marshall came in and did tens of millions of dollars in an infomercial just right out of the box. It was his first one. He hit a home run. I was blown away by that. I've known Les Brown for more than 20 years. Been to been to Marshall's home. I just spoke with on a stage with Les just recently in Santa Clara, California. So I'm really excited to be involved with these guys and yourself, Stephen. 30 years ago, I produced one of the first infomercials. I've done over 500. I funded 500 projects, from Tony Little fitness products, the Gazelle.
Hey, Kevin, your voice is a little muffled.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
A little better, yes.
Okay. So from the Tony Little Gazelle to the Jack LaLanne juicer, you name it. I met the George Foreman, Bruce and Kris Jenner. Now they're known better as the Kardashians, but I did about 7 or 8 projects with the Jenners, and then we did Kim Kardashian's first infomercial, Paris Hilton's, Kathy Hilton's. We've been in this business over now 30 years, billions of dollars. It's $4 billion in sales, and I'm very happy with the number of shows and projects I've been involved with. But it was really recently, and I say recently, it was 5 years ago when Mark Burnett called me and said, Kevin, I'm doing this show called Shark Tank. I've got a female shark named Barbara. She's a real estate lady. And I've got Damon John, the hip-hop guy, and a couple other investors. But I got all these inventors and all these product people coming to Shark Tank with products. I need a product inventor shark to be able to deal with all of them. And I shot the original pilot, 2008. I did 175 segments on Shark Tank, and what's amazing now is it's in syndication in over 20 countries. Just actually, CNBC is now picking it up here in the U.S. So all my original shows are starting. They started 2 weeks ago on Tuesday nights on CNBC. So I've been on the air just constantly for the last 5 years in the segments I shot, the reruns, and now the syndication runs of Shark Tank, which was an amazing game changer for me. But I still go back, as you mentioned, over 40 years ago. I was 16 years old when I read Think and Grow Rich and the Power of the Mastermind. And I have a 16-year-old boy, and he's reading the Think and Grow Rich book. He's attending the Dale Carnegie classes right here in Tampa because I believe in investing in yourself. And when I heard this wasn't going to be a $25,000 mastermind, this is going to be a $299 program for the mass market, I said if we can put 1 million people in this program, this is going to change the world. So a lot of people don't even know that it was an actual mastermind that I was having with some folks. My business had hit a more or less a wall. I was doing $100 million a year in sales. It's amazing to think I've hit a wall at $100 million. But the infomercial business was a bell-shaped curve. You go up and then you go down. And I had a library of 100 infomercials. And in a mastermind, I figured out that what I needed to do was just like other industries, and I almost call it a hijacking of my thinking. And that's what happened during this mastermind. What do the movie companies do? They don't just go up and down in the U.S. They take it international. I opened up an office. I went to the Cannes Film Festival, opened an office internationally. We went into Europe. We went into Asia. We went into Latin America. I met Rupert Murdoch at the Cannes Film Festival. We were running on Sky Channel. I met the Martucci family. We were running in Italy. I took infomercials into 100 countries. The next 3 years, I went from $100 million a year to $500 million a year, making over $40 million a year in profit. And this is now going back over 20 years. I met Greg Recker way back then, and I took Tony Robbins all around the world. And we went to foreign markets, dubbing the Tony Robbins show into dozens of different languages. So, yeah, I've been there with the mastermind now for 40-plus years. I believe in it. If it's something, Stephen, like you said, we can get to the masses for the kind of price you're talking about, $299, we're going to take it to 1 million people, and there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars made in the process. I can just tell you that it was a game changer for me. I loved the concept of it. I heard about some of the other folks like Les and Marshall that's going to be involved, and I said, where do we go? So, yes, Stephen, we shot the videos. We put the comp plan together. I'm not a comp expert. I'm not a specialist in all of this. I just know that when I heard about how it works and took a look at it, showed it to some people that do know these kinds of things, yeah, we all said this is going to work, and this has the potential to go great places. So, I'm not done in my SEMA TV business. I own SEMATV.com. I have 15 million people that come to that site right now. 15 million people. I sell over 1,000 of the world's top SEMA TV products. Go to it. You'll see it. I've been selling all these products for many, many years now, over 30 years in the SEMA TV marketplace. So I just have to say that, yeah, I believe in what we're doing. I believe in the Napoleon Hill basic concept. Mentioned Benjamin Franklin. He did it. We're all going to do it, and we're going to use the power of media because, yes, Stephen, as you know, we're working on our infomercial as we speak. We're in pre-production of an infomercial, and Marshall Silver's done it. Les Brown knows how to do it. We all know that we take the power of what we've got here, the people that are involved in this, and take this thing to the next level in a big way at the right kind of price point with this team and an infomercial, Stephen. We're going to go some amazing places the world has never seen before. So, Stephen, I'm going to throw it back to you. Yes, we're in pre-production of an infomercial, and I can just tell you, why did the Gazelle do over $1 billion? The Food Saver was one of my other products I did in 1986. That did over $1 billion. I've had over 20 infomercials do over $100 million. I had a fishing lure called the Flying Lure, did over $500 million. The Jack LaLanne Juicer, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And I know winners when I see them, and I've been there doing this now 30 years, and we're going to take this thing all the way. So, Stephen, thanks for getting me involved. Thanks for getting a great team involved here. And I can just tell you, I'm super, super excited about Malibu Mastermind.
You know, Kevin, before you run off, I know it's late where you're at. One of the top 3 questions, which is why I kind of addressed it in the opening, that I get is, how did you get Kevin Harrington? People are so excited, Kevin, that you're not just associated, but you're a spokesperson. And yes, I'm extremely grateful to Les Brown for his participation, Marshall for his participation and support. And the fact is, and I don't want to say their names, I actually had a whole additional lineup of multimillionaires and New York Times bestseller authors that wanted to be on the call, but I didn't want the call to go 2 hours. So I asked them if they'd come on, a call, next week or two, and we could, introduce, more of our mutual friends. But saying that, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate greatly the contribution of all the celebrity and experienced people that are going to come on board and help with additional products and support and marketing. We only have one spokesperson. We're not adding any other spokespeople. Our only spokesperson is Kevin Harrington. And the power of having Kevin with his Shark Tank affiliation, the fact that he is basically the father of the modern day infomercial with $4 billion in sales, and as he said 20 infomercials do over $100 million. So I want you to think about that for 1 second. Think of it like being a movie producer, and Kevin's like the Steven Spielberg of movies. How many Steven Spielbergs are there that can constantly produce hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit? Hardly anybody. So that's a really great analogy, because for him to have so many successful infomercials, and now that Kevin is tied to this company, he's tied to the growth of the company, and he's tied to your success. What do you think he's going to be doing when we're building out this infomercial, which we already started? We've already started pre-production. We're talking to writers. We're getting the formula down, all the necessary steps. And when you hear the totality of it, because we're going to release it in a way and empower you in a way that no other company has ever done before, that I absolutely guarantee you. So Kevin, again, on behalf of myself, our employees here, all of our vendors, and certainly all of the affiliates, about 1,000 current and future affiliates on the phone, and all the people listening, we want to thank you so much for everything that you contribute to us today and in the future.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I really all this together. Wish everybody the best of luck, and looking forward to meeting each and every one of you on the phone call today.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin is going to be at our first Pitch the Shark event this March the 7th at the Wynn Hotel. And as a matter of fact, that event normally retails for $999. But if you're one of the people that join us during pre-launch and you purchase and invest in yourself in Malibu Mastermind or our Mastermind 101 program for only $299 one time, you get 6 tickets to the event for free, 2 of which you can keep and use, 4 of which you can retail and keep 100% of the profit. So that's up to $3,996 you can put in your pocket if you retail those 4 tickets at full face value. Now, I didn't pick the Holiday Inn or Motel 6 for this first event. I went to the nicest hotel in all of Las Vegas, the 5-star Wynn Hotel, and I went and I signed a very expensive contract to have room for everybody to be there on March the 7th, and we're going to have some other surprise guests there as well. This ticket is not $999 to you. It's absolutely free when you invest in yourself. So with that, I'm just going to take another moment and wind down this call. The only thing I'm going to comment on briefly is, when we say and we put on our website that our product is endorsed by millionaires, you've heard us call, we are not kidding. And you've never before heard, a brand new company in pre-launch with so many multi-millionaires endorsing a product. Many times you'll hear people get on and talk about how great the comp plan is, and it's a 1.5 twist with the loop-de-loop and whatever, right? And that's all fine and dandy, and we'll talk about our comp plan just for a moment in a second. But what happens with this product is you have a product that has centuries and centuries and centuries of history. So I tell people today, if you took the latest and greatest technology, the latest iPhone, and you buried it, and 100 years from now, somebody finds it, that product, that technology is going to be useless 100 years from now because it's hardly useful 6 months later. But if you took our Mastermind 101 program and you buried it, and 100 years from now, those people could use it in Mastermind just as effectively today as 100 years from now. That's the life expectancy of our product. Our product is not a product that's going to go out of style in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years. This is what we call an evergreen product, and that is what's so important. So I'm just going to turn just for a moment and talk about total prosperity, because total prosperity is the name of our compensation plan. You may or may not know that I've been writing comp plans professionally for 15 years. And when I wrote this comp plan, I wanted something that was a true hybrid that would pay you and pay you big. So what I'd like you to do is invite you to go to the website, look at the comp plan video starring Kevin Harrington, and it does a great job explaining. Just a couple of quick highlights is the comp plan pays you daily. The comp plan pays you daily on global volume. And not only do you get a true affiliate commission, but you get our prosperity bonus that can pay you through unlimited levels of $50 prosperity bonus. And on top of that, you can get up to 100% check match on all of your personally referred affiliates prosperity bonus that pays them through 100 levels. The numbers get insane, and they get insane really quickly. So I'm not going to get into details now, but I am going to say, as good as our product is, our comp plan is equal to that. So with that, I want to end with just my sincere thank you and gratitude, just as I started. And we really look forward to seeing you at the Pitch the Shark event, our upcoming event this August. And just really thankful for everybody on the call.